Man, this comic book sucks. And the reviews online said it was good. I wasted my money. Why didn't somebody tell me?
Hey everybody, we're back with our last review. Our last thing, we're giving you another Batman review. I think we reviewed the Batman. I'm not sure.
We did.
Tom King. Well, maybe we didn't. But
we did Dark Knight. That's not Batman.
Okay.
That's bat crap. This is an actual Batman
No,
book.
we argued about one of those Batmans where Batman had those two weird sidekicks that had superpowers. The Gotham Girl and Gotham Guy.
Gotham Guy, yeah, okay.
It's like some sort of like Gilmore Girls. They had Batman, had Gilmore Girl and Gilmore Guy.
Already killed one of the guys off.
Yeah, it was weird, and that guy beat up the whole DC universe. But we have this one. Tom King has been doing this lead into Bane, and Bane is coming.
Now, Bane is actually here in this story. This, for me, is an actual Batman story. Okay? You'll probably ask, oh, what's a Batman story? I came up with Batman. I've read like a good portion of the Silver Age. And a lot of you, trust me, if you can read the Silver Age of Batman, you'd be like, what the hell is going on? Batman is doing all this science fiction stuff. It's not the Batman who's popularized right now. But mind you, that was still very popular because he sold. Then we get the transition. Denny O'Neil comes in, says, I'm going to bring Batman back to roots. He's going to be the masked manhunter. He's going to be the Dark Knight Avenger. And that goes over really well all through the Bronze Age. But the Batman who I grew up with was a consummate detective. He was in this unsteady relationship with Catwoman, where Catwoman was still a criminal, but they had this attraction, and they could downplay it for a little bit, but then somehow she was going to end up going back to crime, and that would be a little bit of angst. That would be some angst for him. But he also had villains who could put him through his paces. Okay, when you saw Ra's al Ghul, you knew it was on because Ra's al Ghul could show up at any time. The Batcave was no secret for him. Ra's al Ghul had deeper resources.
He did not know. That's the only thing we got out of Batman Odyssey that made sense.
Okay.
Is that he
Batman,
did not.
That's the only thing you agreed with in Batman Odyssey. Nothing.
That and Talia. I like Talia.
He knew.
No, he
that
didn't
was the end
know.
of that. He knew he was Bruce Wayne. It was some. That was
no. He knew.
He
got the Bruce Wayne. He didn't figure out the Batcave.
He didn't. He showed up in the Batcave. He showed up in the Batcave. What do you want me to say? He showed up in the Batcave. I gotta come on. I gotta pull scans now.
You can't figure out the Batcave. There's no way to know unless the only person who obviously ran into the Batcave was Man-Bat because he's a bat and he would be in
he just happens to find the Batcave because he's a bat. The Batcave is below Wayne Manor. It's not that hard to find it if you get somebody into Wayne Manor.
You can't get into the whole thing.
With Ra's al Ghul, because Ra's al Ghul was this literal, Ra's al Ghul is this international figure.
Everyone runs into the Batcave. How many times the Quarter Owls, they sort of run into the Batcave? You don't get there, and it's like someone's basement. And it's like, oh, sweat. Look at that cool door.
How many years removed from Ra's al Ghul to the Court of Owls? Okay, I'm not talking about the Batman movies where Vic Vale is invited to walk down the steps. The Joker gets in there.
The Riddler just like, hey, my technology works on this door. Why is that?
Ra's al Ghul, totally different figure, but was able to put Batman through his paces. When Ra's al Ghul shows up, and he could show up at any particular time, you knew Batman had something heavy on his hands. He was going to need to be at his best. Bane, for me, was a character that not Ra's al Ghul heavy, but the way they developed him was he was supposed to be really the other side of what it may be like if Batman had the same drive and the same willpower, but didn't have money. Okay, wasn't surrounded by any influences that could have made him a little bit a more positive person, or let's just say a positive person altogether, but still has that unrelenting drive that Batman would. That's how he was able to defeat him the first time, simply by doing what Batman would have done. He prepared, he beat him down, and then when it was time for the last fight,
Batman
he didn't back off of him.
Batman was also overworked. He wasn't sleeping.
Yes, that was all Bane.
He was a dummy.
That was all Bane. Bane through all this. He looked at the guy and said, this guy's going to want to do this himself. He did it all himself. He ostracized himself from the people who could have helped him. And then, when he was at his weakest, Bane attacks him after he takes Alfred out of the picture. And what I loved, He didn't just fight him dead up. He knew Batman was
Are
tired.
we talking about this story?
Yeah, we're talking about this story.
I don't think so.
And
It's
then
not like we're talking about
Bane does
Nightfall.
Bane does not. Hey, you do all the whole history thing. I'll let you do it. I do the history thing. I gotta get. I'm doing my history here. I'm doing my history.
Oh God!
Bane
Set
gets
up.
Batman
Say
at
you're
his
setting up
weakest.
Bane.
Gets Batman at his weakest. What does he do? Does he fight him straight up? No. He pumps himself up with venom. He's like, I'm not taking any chances with your little tricky behind. I'm gonna beat you down, and I'm gonna make certain that I have every option to make certain that you lose. Excellent. It's like, hey, I get the kryptonite against Superman. I'm using Venom against you.
God.
That was a great storyline, and it really cemented him as a villain. What do we get
No.
afterwards? What do we get afterwards? We get Bane as a stock villain.
Wait a second.
Whack.
No. Let's go.
Bane is back with this
I
story.
got him now, Superman.
We gotta
dies.
get Superman into this.
Superman
See,
dies.
that's how
so
low they gotta go. They gotta
that's
bring
right.
Superman
I'm
into
going
it.
there. Superman dies, right? By Doomsday. And then Denny O'Neil is like, we got to beat him. Nightfall. Remember, Superman was doing a lot better than Batman at that time.
A lot better.
So that's all I would say. So this story is sort of a...
But Denny O'Neil has denied that, that whole thing ever had anything to do
God.
with Bane. We know it had nothing to do with it. It had everything to do with it. We understand that. But
wait a second. Let's go. If we go to that point, what's the name? Superman revealed his identity to Lois Lane.
Right.
And then they almost revealed the Batman's identity to Vicky Vale in Batman. It's not the same. It's not continuing stories like Superman. Like, come on.
Well, no, that's the argument. That's the argument. Hey, you're a Superman fan? That's the argument you use anytime they say, oh, Batman's been outselling Superman. Like, no. Batman was still following Superman up until like 97 almost at least. Okay, they were still plucking ideas from Superman. It wasn't until that Chuck Dixon and that era of writers over there, those guys just really hammered out some really good stories. And then on Superman, they kept rebooting him every 2 years. You don't have consistency with the character, you lose your base. But this, for me, brings back Bane as the type of villain that he should be. This is a guy, when he shows up, everybody should be on high alert. We don't know what he's doing. He's a thinker. He's going to come at me. And he's formidable in every single possible way. And he's not coming with the BS that these other guys are going to come with. He's not going to do a Shiva, I want to fight you straight up to see if I'm the better fighter. No. I'm going to take every single precaution to beat you because I know who you are. That's the ultimate respect. I know you're the consummate planner, strategist, detective. I'm not playing any games with you. I'm going to get you at your weakest, and then when you're at your weakest, I'm not going to come over here and try to fight you fairly. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to end you at that point. So with this issue right over here, and we already had the build up to it with some other issues that I had read, I was like, yeah, I'm actually engrossed. I want to see what happens later on. I didn't like the ending because that has to be because that ending right over there has to be some damn misdirection at the end of the day. Because how do you know that's misdirection? Because there's a Nightwing issue that comes out the next month. So we know they're not, we know they're not dead. Okay, that for me is just too much misdirection unless he's like, hey, I got in. I'm just going to show you I can get you at any time, which isn't worthwhile for me. But the initial thing where these guys come and, they're on them. There's very little they can do to stop him. That's the type of villain that you really need. Somebody who justifies coming back on a regular basis if you're going to bring them back on a regular basis.
Well, for me, it is like the start was, I guess, seemingly intense. But then they have Bruce Wayne go to like a McDonald's or something.
Eating a hamburger with a knife and fork.
And he's eating a hamburger with a knife and fork. And the Robins are talking about who's dead. And then we have the Catwoman scene that's sort of titillating or something.
You didn't like that?
It's okay. It was all right.
Did you read the issue prior?
No, I didn't.
See, you read the issue prior, it makes more sense.
Okay.
That I have to say, you have to. They had 2 issues prior where Catwoman is supposed to be taken back to prison. And she's telling him, look, don't take me back right now. Let's just spend the night together. And they spend the night doing all this stuff. Eventually, they consummate the night.
Lord.
And then she escapes. And he's like, he's conflicted because, he doesn't. She's supposed to go to prison. He knows that she's innocent. He doesn't want to take her back. He's supposed to do all this stuff. And you even see it. Well, she's talking to him and she jumps off. And Commissioner Gordon is like, yeah, you could have helped. And he's like, look, I'm torn here. So I'm just going to swing off.
Yeah, not yet.
See you later.
Yeah, it has a line. But then it has the end. And I didn't like when we were talking about Bane getting into the Batcave. There's no reason why.
I can understand if you don't like that thing has been done too much. But Bane knows where the Batcave is. He's been to Wayne Manor before. He knows where it is.
You talking about in this run of Rebirth stuff? He's been there, or
Batman's history with the whole New 52? All that stuff didn't change. Bane broke his back. That stuff never was taken out of continuity.
I'm
so
done.
He's been to the Batcave before. He knows where it is.
I'm done. I can't do it anymore. So
don't blame me. Blame DC.
I'm
They're the
gonna
ones who keep doing this stuff.
If you're following Batman, you're probably gonna like it. I can only give it 2 stars.
I'm a Superman fan, first and foremost. I don't normally follow Batman, but I have enjoyed these issues. So I'm going to reach him, and I'm going to match his 2 stars with 5 stars.
Oh my God.
5
This
whole
is possibly my
stars.
last review ever.
5 whole stars.
This is my last one, y'all.
Okay?
I can't do it.
So you go,
And
you
then-
pick it up. Okay? I highly recommend if you can pick up the
5
issues
stars.
before. That makes this an even richer, more...
We were arguing
rewarding
about
read.
Gotham Girl and Gotham Guy, and now he's a Tom King fan. He's a Peter
5
Tomasi fan,
stars.
and now a Tom King fan.
Hey, don't know what to tell you. 5 stars right over there. Start to
He
finish.
did a
with the
poster
exception of that
book, like
ending.
3 issues with Bane.
With
He
the
did a poster
exception-
book with Bane,
With the
and now
exception
this
of that
guy's
ending,
liking him.
There you go.
All right, later.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Spinnerack.
Spinnerack.
You saved me money.